How much time do we have?
Maybe 10 hours until it goes to somebody else.
Then we should hurry.
The idea of two brothers connecting after so many years, there's a real disconnect between these two. They've been raised, when the parents split up, they've been raised in different parts of the world. And we find out that these brothers have two very different approaches to life.
Deacon, what's Bible for?
Inspiration.
My character has sort of gone more of a gentler path, whereas Jean-Claude's character has gone through this solo kind of journey via being a mercenary and essentially gun for hire.
My name is Charlotte Peters, and I'm playing Anna in The Pounded Flesh. The character of Anna, I think the most interesting aspect I found in her was the fact that there was this huge level of vulnerability, even though what I was trying to portray the whole way through the film is this inner strength. Someone once said to me that it's not the fact that you've crossed a bear, it's the way you choose to carry it. And that was very clear in the script when I read it. It's the fact that she's got quite a cross to bear, and we don't necessarily need to know what it is, it just comes across. But she chooses to carry it in the right way. She chooses to try and overcome the odds. Here.
It's the money they paid me to set you up. Take it, please. I don't want it. Use it to help Isabella.
Thank you.
When this script came in, it was a very exciting and different kind of script. I thought that the blend between the action and a good story might be very interesting.
With all the suffering and injustice in the world, I sometimes think that God must hate us.
You know what? You're a kidnapper and you're a criminal. So tell me, what do you know about God?
It struck me as a very kind of an intricate piece. There's a lot of different elements. It's kind of a puzzle. You need to put the pieces together yourself as a viewer, and it takes its progression, and it's a good drama. I mean, you've got all the great action elements in it, but it is a quite adult, dramatic piece, which is nice to see because it's not just sort of a straight action movie like you're used to seeing. It's kind of like 2 or 3 different movies wound into one.
My client wishes to make you an offer. How much for you to walk away?
And what's mine is returned to me.
My character came from the Army Special Force. We made new move. We have the kicks of Van Damme, but they are shorter, more efficient for truth. And John Salvetti did a great job. So when people see it, it looked like I did jiu-jitsu for like 30 years.
Well, John's amazing, and the funny thing is, I said to him before I met him when we were in LA, I'd seen him on the big screen fighting with Donnie Yen like 25 years ago. We'd go to the cinemas in London and see all those great movies, great kung fu movies, and John was in a few of them, and I saw that in my favorite films. So when Mike Leader told me that John was going to be on board as the fight choreographer, I got incredibly excited about it. I knew that we'd be doing something very special. It's different kind of choreography from what I'm used to, because it's pretty much. This really is sort of practical MMA. Fight moves and everything that you could do in a real fight. It's not so cinematic, but it's real moves that are done in a distinct kind of a beat, sort of a broken beat, really, where you've got moves coming in that you don't expect them. And that's cool for me, and I know that JC hasn't really done too much of that type of stuff as well. It's very practical, it's very short movements, but powerful. You will get knocked up a bit, a lot of bruises and things, which is good, if you can use it for your character. But it's fantastic. I mean, the guy has so much energy and enthusiasm and brought a great stunt team together. And I think the fights, it's going to be quite surprising for Van Damme fans to see the kind of stuff that we're doing here on this film.
Let's do one where we leave them for a little bit, just so we see them for a little longer after the grab. Don't leave.
Working with Jean-Claude Van Damme has been wonderful. Like a lot of actors and people my age, I grew up watching his films, and off the bat, we really found out that we, in fact, did embody qualities of these characters already.
Faster! Okay.
I've been a fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme for many, many years. Since I was 12 years old, I had his pictures, his posters all over my walls. And then, I've been following his career for a long, long time. And the last couple of movies that I've seen that he did were directed by Ernie Barbarash. He'll come on set, he'll see the choreography that John Salvetti put together. He'll watch, one or two things that we do, and then come in and he adds his own flavor. And again, he knows where he likes the camera to be, how it's going to show off his kicks and techniques and everything very well, and it's great.
Well, I have had the pleasure of working with Miss Van Damme 20 years ago. It was kind of exciting to be reunited with a man who once called me on a radio program his best friend.
Good to see you, my friend.
Well, I felt the script was very energized and nonstop, so I wanted to express that visually. So I wanted to add lots of lights, lots of saturated colors, keep the intensity growing, lots of sharp angles, lots of shadows to keep the audience on edge. Whenever you are learning about a new culture, you have to think about what things are different. Like, are the license plates different? Do they drive on the same side of the street that you do? Are the street signs in English or tag-along? I get to learn a lot about Manila, but it was pretty much me reaching out to most of my Filipino friends and figuring out, like, what visually do I need to know? And luckily I had a lot of great friends who helped me out and guided me on, you know, which direction to go on. Ernie's been wonderful. It's my first time working with him. He's very collaborative, he's easygoing, and I love a director that gives direction. He knows what he wants, so it was a smooth process with Ernie. Well, a lot of my inspiration came from Ernie. He put a whole visual board for each set together, so that kind of guided me and helped me come up with the look and tone of the project, so I owe a lot of that to him.
I think in my almost 60 years coming up, he'd be the #1 director who is actor-friendly. He takes a tremendous amount of time and consideration for the actor.
Not only does he know what he wants and how to get it, but he also knows how to solve problems. And on a film, when you've got a sort of a restricted budget and time restraints and all that kind of stuff, you need to be able to be thinking on your feet and, you know, make sure you get the right performances from your actors. I love the way he works with actors because he's done so many different sort of genre films, and he's really, you know, coming into his own as an action director as well. He gets the performance, and he gets when I'm playing a bad guy, there's you know, maybe if he thinks I'm going a little over the top, he can bring me down, and he comes up to you with his notepad and, you know, pulls you aside and whispers a couple of things, and you change the performance.
The police are on their way. Unfortunately for you, you'll be dead by the time they get here.
Let's go.
That's right, Deacon. How you doing, mate? Hand me that weapon over your shoulder, slowly.
Before he started the movie, I think he's got the puzzle done already in his head, and he's just taking the pieces and he put them out there, and he's gonna rebuild the puzzle while shooting. He's a cool guy. I feel very secure with him, and he's a director who give lots of love to his actor. On the set, when it says action, no matter what happened, before, after, on action, I always give my best.
Would you kill to save her, even if it damned your soul?
I was surrounded by a very open and nurturing team, and that's a very good word for Ernie. Incredibly nurturing, and I'm sorry, but regardless of how wonderful a director he is, he's a very, very nice, good man. I mean, it would be a privilege to work with him again.
Well, I think the audience are going to really love the film. I mean, it's a very multi-layered story with great performances. The rest of the cast are doing a fantastic job. I mean, we're all sort of very different, and the performances are all very different as well. But that's required from a story like this. So it's very multi-layered, and I think the action reflects on that also. And there's a lot of great fight scenes, a lot of great stuff. The producers have done a wonderful job getting everybody together in all the particular elements that are going to make a great action film, but also with a really interesting and dynamic story. And I think it's going to be very different. It's not going to be what people expect.
I think it's going to be great. It's going to be fun and exciting. I feel like the audience is going to love the story.
I just hope that people's experiences of this film will just be as rich and rewarding as I've experienced just working on this.
Everybody did a great job on this movie.
Your choice. Walk away and live, stay, and you die, she dies, everybody dies.